Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support the motion.
Thank you, Victor. Shakeel, Shabbir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on the speech of His Excellency the President. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President has recognized and based himself on the three pillars in the Constitution: the pillars of economic justice, the pillars of political justice, and the pillars of social justice. In the speech, I have heard that they recognize the fact that we are in hard times. In hard times, you have to take hard decisions, and we must also be able to cut down our costs. What I didn't hear, and I'm sure it's there, is the fact that there must be certain deliberate way to reduce our costs, reduce the amount we are spending ourselves. Mr. Speaker, I come here in Parliament and I see flowers, 5,000 shillings per setting. I think those are the things we need to stop, not only here, but in all the ministries. Mr. Speaker, sir, His Excellency the President, I was so pleased to hear about his issues on corruption. Mr. Speaker, sir, they've talked about state capture. We've never really dealt with the name corruption, but I was so pleased this time that he was able to clarify what his stand is on corruption. And if the executive will of corruption is there, Mr. Speaker, sir, we are going to deal with this. We will be able to sort out many of the issues of corruption. I was most pleased about his instruction or request, not instruction, request, that the conflict of interest bill be passed quickly. Mr. Speaker, sir, as you understand, that the rain started beating us very much when under the Moi regime, or was it the earlier regime, civil servants were allowed to trade, were allowed to have businesses. And no matter what we tried, the executive was never going to listen to us. Now, I think if I don't want to...
That was not in the Moi regime, it was in the Kenyatta one.
I apologize, sir. And I did say I think maybe the earlier one, the Kenyatta regime. And I think that has gone on and on. At this moment in time, you're finding the Procurement Act. You're finding so many of these things. The budgeted corruption that takes place is over 80% of the corruption that we have. So I am very pleased in the President's remarks that he's going to take swift action. And easy matatu, I am quite agreed with the matatu if he says that. If mambo matatu, Nina agree. If the issue is that they are going to take them to Uhuru Park and hang those guys who've been involved in grand corruption, I support. But I think the issue here is, the fact of the issue is that our poor are getting poorer. Economic justice here is not being dealt in the proper manner. And I plead with the President and his team to make sure that we start cutting the cost from the rich, the top, and the poor get benefit. Right now, Mr. Speaker, sir, the poor pay more for unga in the slums. They pay more for water. They pay more for everything. So that is economic injustice. And I feel that is very much the thing. I agree with the majority leader, and I definitely agree with the President. Subsidization is not the way out. It is just digging a hole even further to go down. I'd like to say that this is the sort of thing that we need to do. Mr. President, sir, the debt office must be made independent. Let us make the debt office autonomous so they're not being monitored by others. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, I suggest that us members of Parliament should fly economy when we are going anywhere on our visits abroad, like the British are doing, like the Americans are doing, not business class, which is 5 times more than the economy class. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me that time.
Doris Donya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I note very well when